Welcome to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show on the Padres Radio Network. Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Craig Stammen's postgame comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
The Padres put together a furious 4-run rally in the 7th inning as they storm back to beat the Minnesota Twins by a final score of 7-5 on what became a very fun Saturday evening here in downtown San Diego. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. The postgame fireworks have just started here at Petco Park, so much of the sold-out crowd still here enjoying the fireworks, and the Padres brought some late-inning fireworks of their own. In this game, they trailed 5-1. They get a run in the 6th inning, 4 in the 7th inning, 1 in the 8th inning. They take advantage of mistakes from the Twins, especially in that 7th inning. And the Padres have now won the first 2 games of this 3-game series. They go for a 3-game sweep of Minnesota tomorrow. Jake Cronenworth had a big impact on this game. 2 hits, 2 big doubles, 2 RBIs in this one as the Padres rallied back. I caught up with Jake on the field moments ago.
Jake, you lose Casey early in this game. You trail most of the night, but you mount the rally in the 7th inning. Take me inside that dugout. How was this team able to stay in the fight tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Kramer was doing a great job, man. He was keeping us off balance. Obviously, unfortunate Casey went down there early, but kind of like what I just said, man, what a great job out of Hart and Griffin to keep us right there in it and the whole time and get Kramer out of the game and give us an opportunity to win.
The big rally started with a catcher's interference. Great job there by Freddie Fermin pointing out the catcher's interference. You go to the replay, starts the entire thing in the 7th inning. Pretty good example of what good attention to detail can do, right?
Yeah, man, those little things, those little details, I think is why we've kind of taken off here this last month and a half. And, something as small as that gets us going, and boom, it's 5-5, man. I mean, that's kind of what this team's been all about.
Going back to the early part of the year, speaking of what this team has been all about, this team has come back in games all season long. What is it about the personality of this group that's allowed you to do that going back to late March?
I think it's just a lot of it is experience. This group's been together for a long time. There's no panic. I mean, we're down 5-1, and Kramer's got a 1-hitter going, and the only hit we got's a homer. But it's just finding a way to scratch a run across, make it 5-2. Just keep poking away, and then boom, the big inning happens, and it gives us an opportunity to win.
Finally, you had a couple of big hits in this game, the double in the 6th inning, big 2-run double as part of that 7th inning. What worked for you offensively tonight?
The tough thing is we don't face these guys a ton, so we're facing them once a year, and a lot of times when you face those bullpen guys, there's no time to wait around. That was kind of the thing. That guy's got incredible stuff. He's throwing 99, 100. Let's just get on something good in the zone that you can handle.
Jake, great job tonight. Great win. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Sam.
That was Jake Cronenworth right after a really, really good 7-5 win. The Padres with a come-from-behind win. They trailed 5-1. Did it not matter? The Padres come back again. They've been doing it all year long, and they find a way. They're playing some great baseball right now. Padres have now won 20 of their last 27 games going back to July 24th, the best record in the major leagues in that span, and the Padres also picking up their 70th win of the season here tonight as they improve to 70-60. And oh, by the way, the D-backs lost earlier tonight, so the Padres do now open up a 2-game lead on the final wild card spot in the National League wild card race. When we come back, we've got all the radio highlights for you. We'll recap this game from start to finish. We'll hear from Craig Stammen coming up a little bit later as well. The fireworks blasting away here in downtown San Diego. Ooh, a colorful show. Looks great. I got a great view of the fireworks right here inside the loft at the Western Metal Building. Padres win it 7-5 here tonight in the middle game of this 3-game set against Minnesota. Our postgame coverage continues after this on the Padres Radio Network.
Jack Murphy believes
Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap up what was a great win for the Padres here tonight. Final score of 7-5. The fireworks still blasting off here in downtown San Diego. Great show. They've got some great music to go along with it here tonight. I did go out on the rail here at the Western Metal Building during the commercial break. Got a couple of nice videos. Got my own little enjoyment of the fireworks. Why not? A lot of fireworks in this game, certainly. And the Padres winning at 7-5. As always, our post-game coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort. Hey, player, need a little me time? Jamul Spa was just named one of the top 100 spas in America. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Well, this game did not start well, and even in the middle innings, things were not looking great for the Padres tonight. We also have some injury news to get to, and we'll hear from Craig Stammen coming up in just a little bit. But let's rewind it and recap this one from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Right-hander Casey Mize took the mound for the Padres in the top of the first inning. It was Luke Keeschel who led off for Minnesota.
2-1, hammered in the air, deep to left field. Forget all of that. Into the second deck, or maybe just beneath it. Either way, a leadoff home run for Keeschel. And the Twins waste no time changing the narrative here tonight. A leadoff homer, and it's 1-0.
Didn't get much better for Mize early on. He would give up back-to-back solo homers to Brooks Lee and Keelan Culpepper in the third. The Twins led at 3-0. In the bottom of the second, Dean Kramer took the mound for the Twins. His second inning of work, Jackson Merrill would put the Padres on the board.
And Merrill swings, sends it in the air, deep to right center field. Buxton's going back. He's looking up. This one, gonna go! Jackson Merrill back on track. He has joined the 2020 club, a long home run to put the Padres on the board.
Congratulations to Jackson Merrill, still just 23 years old and a part of the 2020 club, a long home run for Jackson Merrill. Before Mize began the third, he was checked on by Padres athletic training staff. Mize would stay in the game. He did get the first 2 outs of the inning, then gave up a double. His velocity, though, was significantly down throughout the outing. Mize would then exit the game alongside Padres athletic training staff. It would turn out, we would find out later, that Mize actually twisted his ankle walking down the dugout steps after the second inning. So again, we'll hear from Craig Stammen coming up in a little bit, but that was unfortunate. Clearly affected Mize, and he came out of the game in the third. Kyle Hart entered to face Cody Clemens in that third inning with a runner on second base.
And Clemens swings, lines it to right center. Merrill on the move, not going to get there. Has to play it on a hop. Jeffers comes in to score. RBI single for Clemens. And now 4-1 Twins here in the third.
Hart stayed on for the fourth inning. He gave up another run, an RBI single to Keeschel. The Twins led 5-1. It would stay 5-1 for a while, really for 2 reasons. Number one, Dean Kramer, really good. He allowed just the 1 run through 5 innings. But number 2, Griffin Canning entered in the 4th inning. He got the game to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Padres still down just 5-1. In the 6th, the Padres rallied. Jake Cronenworth hit a leadoff double. Kramer walked Manny Machado with 2 on and 1 out. The Twins went to lefty A.J. Minter to face Jackson Merrill.
And Jackson swings, lines it into center field. That's a base hit. Cronenworth will come in from third to score, and Jackson Merrill at it again. It's a 5-2 game.
Padres would get the tying run to the plate a couple of times in that 6th inning, but Minter got out of the frame with the Twins still ahead by 3, 5-2. Canning tossed the scoreless top of the 7th inning to keep it a 5-2 deficit. Right-hander Andrew Morris came on for Minnesota in the bottom of the 7th inning. He got the first out, but then a catcher's interference, one the Padres had to challenge to ultimately get, was called on Twins catcher Ryan Jeffers. That allowed Freddie Fermin to reach. And looking at that play a little bit closer, it appeared like Freddie Fermin was the one who looked towards the Padres dugout and said, hey, you got to take a look at that. They did. They challenged. Freddie got on base. Fernando Tatis Jr. singled to put 2 aboard. That brought up Jake Cronenworth.
Last month.
Cronenworth, first pitch swinging, lines one the other way. That's a fair ball into the left field corner. Fermin rounding third, he's going to score. Fernando being waved. Fernando on his way. The throw not in time. 2-run double, Jake Cronenworth. one-run game at Petco Park.
Padres down 5-4. Cronenworth on second base. Manny Machado is next.
Manny swings, reaches for it, grounds it to shortstop. Culpepper's throw to third, gets away. Cronenworth's on his way home. It's picked up by the pitcher Morris. The throw home, not in time. Tie game. And Machado ends up at second base.
A furious rally, a tie game at 5. Culpepper, the shortstop, the young shortstop, trying to get the lead runner at third base, and he made a bad throw, a throwing error. Cronenworth scoring, a 5-5 game. Machado on that play went up to second base. Ty France dug in.
Ty swings, muscles it on a line to right field. Keyshaw coming in, won't get there. Bounces in front of him, has to play it on a hop. Machado will score, and for the first time tonight, it's the Padres ahead, 6-5.
A 4-run bottom half of the 7th inning. The Twins cracking the door open. The Padres busting right through it. The Padres had a 6-5 lead. A late lead, it meant the big bullpen arms, well, they were coming in. Adrian Morejon pitched a scoreless top of the 8th inning. Bottom half of the 8th inning, Padres looking for insurance. Right-hander Tommy Nance replaced Morris. Out of the Twin bullpen, Luis Campusano hit a leadoff single. Freddie Fermin hit a one-out single to put runners on first and second. That brought up Fernando Tatis Jr.
And Tatis bangs it on the ground up the middle. That's into center and a base hit. Campusano rounding third. On his way. He will score. RBI single, Fernando Tatis Jr. An add-on run, and it's 7-5.
Padres led 7-5 going to the top of the 9th inning. Guess who came in? It was Mason Miller. He struck out Byron Buxton for out number 1. Josh Bell flew out to right field. A great catch in right by Fernando Tatis Jr. for out number 2. The game left up to Minnesota's Ryan Jeffers.
Now Jeffers with 2 outs, nobody on. Swings at the first pitch, bounces it to Bogarts. Sanders got it. Throw to first is in time. And Mason Miller, a 1-2-3 ninth to close a 7-5 come-from-behind win. As the Padres have won this series, they'll go for the sweep tomorrow afternoon against the Twins.
The Padres come back to win it. 4 runs in the 7th inning. I should mention a run in the 6th inning when they trailed 5-1. That made it 5-2. 4 in the 7th. A tack-on run in the 8th inning. And the Padres come back to win it 7-5. Like Jesse said, to set up an opportunity to sweep this series tomorrow here in downtown San Diego. 5 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for Minnesota. 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors for San Diego. 4 for 11. The Padres went with runners in scoring position. They left 8 on base. The Twins went 2 for 8 with the runners in scoring position. They left 8 on base as well. Padres, Griffin Canning, well-deserved win. We will talk more about what Canning did in this game. He improves to 4-9. It was the right-hander Andrew Morris who took the loss. He's now 4-5. Mason Miller, his 32nd save of the season. The Padres did a great job staying in the fight, battling through. The Twins could never deliver the knockout blow in this one, and the Padres made them pay. Padres pick up their 70th win of the season. They're now 70-60. Twins dropped to 63-67. And as we said a little bit earlier, Diamondbacks lost to Cincinnati tonight. So the Padres do open up a 2-game lead for the final wild card spot in the National League. With still a ways to go, still 32 games remaining, but hey, you'll take it here on August 22nd. The Padres in that 3rd and final wild card spot, continuing to play some winning baseball. A great win tonight at Petco Park. When we come back, we'll hear from Padre manager Craig Stammen. That comes your way after this on our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show right here on the Padres Radio Network.
KWFN and KW.
Casino Resort Padres Postgame Show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. As we continue to wrap this one up, final score here today, Padres 6 and the Twins, Padres 7 and the Twins 5. Apologize for the technical difficulties. I know we were just playing music there for a while. A little bit of technical difficulties here. So hopefully we'll be all right throughout the rest of the program, the post-game coverage here. But the Padres getting a really nice come-from-behind win, 7-5 over the Minnesota Twins. Let's go downstairs, hear from Padre manager Craig Stammen.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stammen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
We saw the Casey, what happened with him.
Yeah, coming out after the second inning, came down the steps, tripped a little bit, and just turned his ankle. In the dugout. Yeah, dangerous dugout steps. There's a piece of rubber on the end, just caught the cleat and tripped him up, and then he just landed a little bit wrong. But he went back out. We saw he pitched. He could make pitches, but it wasn't the same. It just felt like he was at a compromised position, and that's why we took him out.
Any imaging or anything like that? I mean, what do you think his status is going forward?
Yeah, day to day, definitely. Like, I don't think it's awful. It's not, a really bad sprain, but it'll definitely, it's swollen, and it'll take some time to heal up.
For the game to start the way it did and end the way it did, what does that say about the way you guys are going right now?
Yeah, the guys, credit to the guys in the dugout. They kept the energy up. They kept believing. They kept, clapping their hands. Let's score once, figure out a way. Let's claw our way back. And sure enough, a couple of things went our way, and they were able to do it. But I think it's a credit to those guys, the energy that they're bringing, the enthusiasm that they're bringing to every game is allowing us to have games like this where even though we're down, we're coming back and scoring some runs.
Went quite a while with some pitching chaos. I think that benefited you in a day like today where Kyle has to come in and then Griffin 3 innings, shutout innings.
Yeah, maybe. I think, anytime guys are pitching in a similar role to what they have been pitching in the last few weeks, it's better. I don't think Kyle was expecting to come in that early in the game. But it was, once Casey came out, it was kind of back to that game plan is where's the, line for Kyle, and then where's the line for Griffin? And then Griffin was kind of rolling, and we needed the innings at that point. And he kind of served as that bulk guy that we've been using. And, man, he just did an amazing job. When him getting out of that bases loaded jam with one out, getting the first strike out of the game and then getting out of it with no runs allowed us to come back in that game. I mean, he's you could argue he's probably player of the game today, allowed us to have a chance to come back. And, he hasn't contributed to a ton of, big-time victories here lately, but that was one he can put on his record for sure.
You have to say Tatis is playing at another level, isn't he?
Yeah.
I love watching him go from first to home on a ball like he did with that double in front of him. It's incredible. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, he's one of those players you just can't keep your eyes off of. And when he's going, when he's running the bases, when he's running after fly balls, when he's, getting hits, it's just, it's very fun to watch. It feels very good that he's on our team and that we've got that type of player that can change the game at any moment.
Do you think that what he was going through earlier in the season, and even so, he was batting .280 for most of the season. It's like finding his power again, getting his head on straight. Was there a lack of confidence there, even in a guy like that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he lacked confidence. He was probably wondering what was going on and why. He was hitting a lot of balls hard and they were just right at people. I think if you ask him, he would say he had a lot of bad luck.
Well, yeah,
but I think he made the necessary, all those struggles, that adversity that he went through has made him a better player going forward because he had to dig deep and he had to find out, all right, what do I truly believe in and what am I made of? And am I willing to go put the work in to get out of it? And he said yes to that. He said, I'm willing to put the work in, trusted the hitting coaches. They went to work and now we're seeing results of, him putting his nose to the grindstone and coming out on the other end, a spectacular player.
Yes, I know because I wrote it. He had the highest hard hit for outs average in baseball the first couple of months of the season. So that in itself had to be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime that you're hitting the ball hard and not getting hits, it's frustrating for a lot of our players. Right now, I think Xander Bogaerts is feeling that same way, hitting a lot of ball hard and not getting anything to show for it.
Just to be sure on Casey, did Did he let you guys know right away, or did you see it?
I saw it. Nobody else saw it. It was kind of, out of the corner of my eye. I wasn't watching him specifically, but I saw him go down, saw him turn the ankle, and then, try to walk it off in the dugout, and it didn't look great. We had him underneath, taping it up, seeing if he could go. He wanted to try to go in that next inning, kind of talked us into like, yeah, I feel good enough. Let's see what it is. And then, the velocity was down. The movement on his pitches wasn't quite the same, and they were taking some good swings off him. So, I just felt like it wasn't right for him to have to try to gut it out.
Just to clarify, he got his ankle tape between the second and the third?
Yes.
Okay. Jake Cronenworth, has a knack for big hits, it seems like. The walk-off against San Francisco. You can go back to his, Dodgers 2022 playoffs. And for him, the 2 doubles tonight, just what do you make of him, consistently coming up in big spots to get you guys going tonight?
Yeah, we know from Jake is we're going to get a quality at bat, and he gives a quality at bat almost every time he's at the plate. And in those big situations, that's what it's all about. It's about just having a quality at bat, and it's not necessarily always getting a hit or always getting on base, but just putting a quality at bat out there, making the pitcher work, and he does that more often than not, and that's why I think he's more successful in those big situations.
And also, the play going to third, putting the pressure on there, and ultimately misses the catch and then scores the run. Just what did you see kind of on that play and just the overall how it developed?
Yeah, great base running play by Jake. I think he saw that the ball was in a place where he could beat it to third. It's a very tough play for the shortstop to move to his left and then throw back to his right. The third baseman's got to catch it on the run. And I think, that play, you can make that play, but it's a very high risk, high reward play. And it's one that worked out in our favor today.
And lastly, Ty's been great all year, but it seems like especially Players Weekend, he's enjoying it. Go ahead one tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Ty's been swinging it pretty good for us all year, and maybe it's the bats or what. I know he broke the one bat tonight, but he's been just a staple for us this year in the lineup, in the clubhouse, in the dugout. He's been a big part of our success.
That was Padres manager Craig Stammen following this 7-5 win for the Padres against the Minnesota Twins as they come from behind in this one here tonight. Sam Levitt back with you inside the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Our postgame coverage is always brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. What was interesting about this game here tonight, it harkens back to something we talked about last night. If you heard the postgame last night, you heard me talk about the Austin Hayes at bat, and I promise I have a point here. The Austin Hayes at bat in the 5th inning against the left-hander Connor Prelip, and Hayes had fallen behind 0-2 in that at bat. Now, totally different situation. The game is tied at 2. It's the 5th inning, but Hayes falls behind 0-2. He works it back to a 9-pitch at bat, ends up reaching on an infield single. The Padres end up scoring 4 runs in that 5th inning to take a 6-2 lead. They go on to win by that final score. And I said last night, for as big as the RBI hits for Tatis and Rehifo and Machado were in that inning, I could make the argument that plate appearance by Hayes, falling behind 0-2, battling his way back to a full count, maybe was the most important at-bat of the night. Said that last night. Here tonight, very different kind of game. But a similar little moment, little thing that made such a huge difference in this game. And it was the Padres trailing 5-2, bottom of the 7th inning. Freddie Fermin at the plate takes a pitch from Andrew Morris, the right-hander on the mound for the Twins. And nothing is called. In fact, I think I'd have to go back and look. I think it was a ball. It could have been a strike. I can't even remember. It doesn't really matter. But as he begins his swing, he just ever so slightly tips into the catcher's mitt, and that's a catcher's interference. Now, again, on the field from the home plate umpire, nothing is called. But if you were watching, Freddie immediately looked at the Padre dugout, pointed to his eyes, and said, "Take a look at that." And so the Padres do. Great job by the replay room. They take a look at it. The Padres challenge, and it gets flipped from essentially, weird thing to say in baseball, a no call into a catcher's interference. And then Freddie reaches with 1 out. So instead of the bat just going on, great job by Freddie pointing it out to the dugout, right? I mean, he clearly felt it. It was very clear on the replay that his bat went into the catcher Jeffers' mitt. It's a catcher interference. After that, Tatis singles, Cronenworth doubles to drive into. You have the error by Culpepper that ties the game. RBI single by France. And bang, Padres had a 6-5 lead. That was a huge little moment in this game, what Fermin did. And again, it's attention to detail. It's the little things that sometimes can win you a baseball game. And I thought of these two big rallies and these two wins against the Twins. There have been two little moments that have ignited both rallies. Last night, it was Hayes working his way back from down 0-2 in a count to get it back to 3-2 to somehow, some way reaching base on an infield single. And here tonight, it was a little similar in the sense that somehow, some way, Freddie, via catcher's interference, gets on base. And it started the whole thing as part of that 4-run 7th inning as the Padres took the lead. So little things, they can make a really big impact, especially this time of year when the games are so crucial. The other thing that I think you just like about the way the Padres are playing, and tonight was a great example of it, and you feel like ever since they got this thing going in the right direction, they've been doing it a lot, and that is they do what a really good team typically does. When you crack the door open for them, they will knock right through that door. They did it here tonight. The catcher's interference started the rally. Then you had the error by Culpepper. And, look, I understand what the rookie shortstop Culpepper was trying to do there. It's not a terrible idea to try to get Manny at third base. But if you're going to make that throw to third base, you better make a good throw and you better get the out. You better be sure that instead of getting a sure thing second out at first base, I understand what he was doing, and Manny crossed in front of him, so I get it. I do. But you got to make a good throw. You got to get that runner. And not only did he not get the runner, but he threw the ball away, and that allowed Manny to score, and the game was tied. So, not Manny, Cronenworth. Manny hit the ground ball to shortstop. Cronenworth, rather, crossed in front of him, ends up scoring to tie the game at 5. Again, crack the door open, make a mistake. They're going to bust right through it. That's what a good team does. The other thing the Padres did in this game, once they took the lead, they played some really good defense. Their center fielder and their right fielder, really nice running catches, and that sets the stage for not one, but 2 scoops of the game.
What was the most crucial defensive play in today's game?
Throw to first is in time.
This is the scoop of the game. Served up fresh by Brewster's Real Ice Cream in La Mesa, the official ice cream of the Padres Radio Network. Roll through their drive-thru, download the app, and get an additional free scoop. Brewster's Ice Cream, the best ice cream in San Diego.
And Keyshaw swings, muscles it out to right center. Jackson was pushed over that way. Long run, trying to get there. Makes the catch right in front of the wall. Jackson Merrill, go and get it. And Bell swings, hits it in the air, deep down the right field line. Fernando, long run into the corner. Full sprinting, makes the catch, and crashes into the wall. What a play, Fernando Tatis Jr. And on out number 2 in the top of the 9th, we're going to hang a star. Oh, Fernando.
Fantastic couple of catches for the Padres. One by Merrill in the 8th inning, one by Nando in the 9th inning, in a 1-run game and a 2-run game. Great job by both Merrill and Tatis, just running down fly balls. They're both so good out there in the outfield. So great plays, and how about that? A little double scoop of the game. Little, 2 flavors, right, in your Brewster's ice cream bowl. Double scoop. Maybe, maybe it's like, some ice cream places call that a split scoop. I don't know. Or that's like one. I don't know the ice cream rules, but we're calling it a double scoop here on the Padres Radio Network. Hey, I'll take 2 scoops of ice cream instead of 1. It's fine by me. Both very well deserving with what Merrill and Tatis did here defensively in the late innings here tonight. All right, we'll step aside. When we come back, we'll get into more of our daily awards. If you want to get a phone call in, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call, 833-288-0973. The phone number to dial. Final score again here tonight. Padres come back and win it 7-5 over the Minnesota Twins. Our postgame coverage continues after these words.
Sid's Carpet Barn is San Diego's undisputed floor covering leader. At Sid's
Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Final score here tonight, Padres 7 and the Twins 5. Hey, player, the rooftop pool's open. Day passes are available, and the spa is calling your name. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Well, the great thing about a win like this, and so many of the Padres wins in the second half, there's so many different guys to point to that contribute. And here tonight, and I realized after Craig talked, we really didn't talk about the Casey Mize injury at all. I will circle back to that. Not that I have really much additional thought on it other than what we know, but I am a little concerned about it. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. I do want to focus on just another key contributor to a win like this. Let's tell you about our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, brought to you by San Diego criminal defense attorney David P. Shapiro. We help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Learn more at davidpshapirolaw.com.
When you list out the key contributors from this win here tonight, Griffin Canning should be very, very, very high on your list. I mean, really high on your list. I'm not going to go through the rankings of key contributors here tonight. I'm not going to rank them for you like a top three. We don't have to do that. But consider what Griffin Canning did in this game out of the Padres bullpen. Casey Mize comes out of the game after twisting his ankle on the dugout steps. Very unfortunate in the third. And again, we'll get back to Mize here in a second. Canning comes in, replaces Kyle Hart after Hart gave up an RBI single to Keyshaw in the fourth inning. That makes it a 5-1 game. Canning comes in, has to face Byron Buxton with Keyshaw on second base. Buxton lines out the shortstop inning over. Canning keeps it 5-1. He then comes back out for the fifth inning, does allow a couple of base hits, but works out of it, scoreless fifth inning. He then in the sixth inning, the Twins have the bases loaded against him, and he gets out of it. Keeps it 5-1. Padres make it 5-2 in the bottom of the sixth. He comes back out for the seventh inning and puts together a 1-2-3 frame. So all in all today for Griffin Canning, all of this while the Padres are trailing. He goes 3 innings and a third, no runs, 3 hits, walks 1, strikes out 1, throws 46 pitches. But the most important out of it, all of that, 3 and a third innings, no runs given up. Kept it at 5-1, kept it at 5-2. The Twins had opportunity, 2 on, 1 out in the fifth, bases loaded, 1 out in the sixth inning. They had opportunity to deliver a knockout blow against Canning and the Padres. Canning did not allow them to. Look, Griffin Canning keeping this at a 4-run deficit, then a 3-run deficit, an enormous part of this win. You cannot tell the story of this game without circling what Griffin Canning did tonight. And keep in mind, this is a guy who's had his struggles this year. This is a guy who was in the rotation, got yanked from the rotation, has been given a bullpen role where he's not pitching high leverage spots. And here tonight, trailing on a night where the Padres lost Casey Mize. They needed length. They also were trying to keep it a close game. Griffin Canning did both those things, and he bridged it to Morahone in the eighth inning when the Padres took the lead. So excellent, excellent work by Griffin Canning in this game. Excellent work by Griffin Canning tonight. And the cool thing about it tonight, he got rewarded with a win because the Padres took the lead in the bottom of the seventh inning, and then he was in line for the win because he pitched the scoreless top of the seventh. It's a great win for Griffin Canning. I mean, I really mean this, and I'd have to go back and look, but just off the top of my head, like this was probably from a winning standpoint, this was probably the best outing Griffin Canning had as a Padre. I know it's very different than what you anticipated when he signed and he came back from the Achilles injury. I understand that. It's quite different. He's had a very up and down year. I get all that. But in a game like this, where the Padres came back, they had such a good win at the end of the night. What Griffin Canning did was such an important part of this win. 3 1/3 scoreless innings out of the pen, working out of trouble. He did not allow this game to get away. So for all of that, Griffin Canning, our relief pitcher of the game. Let's tell you about the Padres' heart of the order.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the heart of the order. Presented by Palomar Health Medical Group.
Part of the order here tonight, Machado, France, Merrill, 3, 4, 5 spots. Manning 0 for 3, but he did walk twice, and he did score the go-ahead run as part of that 4-run seventh. Ty France, RBI single, go-ahead RBI single in the seventh inning. Jackson Merrill, 2 hits, including the solo home run in the second, his 20th of the season. So congrats to Jackson on a 2020 campaign already here in late August. And Merrill also had the RBI single in the sixth inning to make it 5-2. Again, another important moment as the Padres chipped away to what was a 4-run deficit at the largest. And that is a look at the heart of the order, what the 3, 4, 5 spots did in this one tonight. When we return, we'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game, get you ready for tomorrow's series finale against the Twins as the Padres will go for a 3-game sweep. Plus, in case you missed it, I know a lot of you just hopping in the car after the postgame fireworks. We'll replay my postgame conversation with Jake Cronenworth. Padres win it 7-5. They've won the first 2 games of this 3-game series against Minnesota. Our postgame coverage continues after this.
Keep it locked.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game in just a moment. I did want to revisit the Casey Mize part of tonight. That was the only negative of tonight's game. Mize, really in a freak incident, really the way you could put it. He twisted his ankle going down the dugout steps after the second. Now, Mize was not having a great night. So, before that, he had given up 3 home runs in the first 2 innings of the game. But he sprained his right ankle coming down the dugout steps, coming off the field after the second. Look, on one hand, Craig Stammen called him day-to-day. Doesn't sound like it's overly serious. I'll say this. On the other hand, he had to come out of the game. He clearly didn't look right after it. So it was severe enough that it affected him. He did not look right. His velo, I mean, he was throwing 89-mile-per-hour fastballs. So it was clearly affecting him. They did the right thing getting him out of the game when they did. The only thing I'll say that I guess, again, I'm not even speculating here. I'm just talking, really. Yeah, a lot of us have sprained an ankle. We're not world-class athletes, at least not me. I won't speak to those of you listening. Maybe you are. I don't know. A sprained ankle can take a little bit to heal. It's not always a super minor injury. So you hope Casey's okay. You hope it heals up, and you hope it's not something that now affects him moving forward or makes him miss any amount of time. It was really kind of a freak thing going down the dugout steps, but it was bad enough that it really did affect him, certainly by velocity, and clearly did not look right going back out for the third. So fingers crossed, nothing major at all for Casey Mize. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Saturday.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Everything final in the major leagues today. Blue Jays beat the Yankees 4-3 in New York. Dylan Cease struck out 8 in 6 2/3 innings for the win in that game. Nathan Lucas, a home run for the Jays. Brewers beat the Braves 4-1 in Milwaukee. Jake Bauers, go-ahead 2-run home run in that game to put the Brewers ahead for good. Marlins beat the Nationals 4-2 in Miami. The Phillies beat up on the Cardinals 12-3 in Philadelphia. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber home runs in that game for the Phils. Orioles beat the Rays 3-2 in Baltimore. The final in 10. Dylan Beavers walk-off hit in that one. Samuel Basayo tied the game for the Orioles with a 2-run homer in the 8th inning in that game. Angels beat the Rangers 3-0 in Arlington. A's beat the Astros 4-3 in Houston. Mets beat the White Sox 10-5 in Chicago. Luis Robert Jr. 2 home runs in that game for New York. Royals beat the Tigers 3-1 in Kansas City. Salvador Perez home run in that game for KC. Dodgers beat the Pirates 4-3 in LA. Tarek Skubal, 7 strong innings in that one, struck out 11. Mariners beat the Cubs 5-4. Walk-off 2-run home run for Randy Arozarena in the 9th inning. He also hit a solo home run early in that game. Red Sox beat the Giants 3-2 at Fenway Park. Reds beat the D-backs 11-5 in Arizona. 4 home runs in that game for Cincinnati. Ellie De La Cruz, J.J. Bleday, Hector Rodriguez, and Matt McLean going deep. By the way, I should tell you, Bleday hit for the cycle in that game as the Reds win it. Guardians beat the Rockies 4-3 in Colorado, and that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Saturday. So, where do things stand here at the end of tonight as far as the National League wild card race? Well, Phillies won. The Cubs, as we said, did lose today. So that is some good news for the Padres as well. With the Cubs losing today, it's not out of the question that the Padres could catch the Cubs. They're now 4 games behind Chicago. They do have the Phillies between them, but we'll see. Still some work to be done there. Phillies win, so they maintain the 2nd wild card spot behind Chicago. Padres maintaining the 3rd wild card spot. They picked up a game on Arizona, who lost to the Reds today, like we said. So Arizona now 2 games behind San Diego. So very good night for the Padres as they extend that lead to 2 games for that final NL wild card spot. Final score here tonight, Padres 7, Twins 5. Let's hear tonight's play of the game.
One bounce, one hit, one pitch can be the difference between victory and defeat. What was the most important play in today's game? This is today's play of the game. Presented by Phil Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Restoration and Flood. We know how.
Manny swings, reaches for it, grounds it to shortstop. Culpepper's throw to third, gets away. Cronenworth's on his way home. It's picked up by the pitcher Morris. The throw home, not in time. Tie game. And Machado ends up at second base.
Well, that was our play of the game here tonight. The rookie shortstop, Kieran Culpepper, throwing the ball away, trying to get the lead runner at third base. He throws it away. Jake Cronenworth races in to score with the tying run. Moments later, Ty France RBI single to put the Padres ahead 6-5. And the reason we selected that Culpepper play was because, two things. Number one, if Culpepper, if he ends up getting the out at third base, that's a huge, sorry, I said Kalen Culpepper, my mistake. Kalen Culpepper made that throwing error. Two reasons to me it was the biggest play of the game. Number one, if he gets the out at third, you get the lead runner. Then it's 2 outs and a runner on first base, and the Twins are still up by 1. And quite frankly, if he just gets the out at first base, you're still up by a run if you're the Twins, and you've got 2 outs and a runner on third. So, look, had the Twins got out of that inning still with a 1-run lead, they very well might have won this game, but Culpepper made a big error there and threw it away, and that opened the door to the Padres to tie it and ultimately take the lead. Jake Cronenworth scoring that game-tying run. I caught up with Jake on the field right after tonight's win.
Jake, you lose Casey early in this game. You trail most of the night, but you mount the rally in the 7th inning. Take me inside that dugout. How was this team able to stay in the fight tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Kramer was doing a great job, man. He was keeping us off balance. Obviously, unfortunate Casey went down there early, but kind of like what I just said, man, what a great job out of Hart and Griffin to keep us right there in it and the whole time and get Kramer out of the game and give us an opportunity to win.
The big rally started with a catcher's interference. Great job there by Freddie Fermin pointing out the catcher's interference. You go to the replay, starts the entire thing in the 7th inning. Pretty good example of what good attention to detail can do, right?
Yeah, man, those little things, those little details, I think is why we've kind of taken off here this last month and a half. And, something as small as that gets us going and boom, it's 5-5, man. I mean, that's kind of what this team's been all about.
Going back to the early part of the year, speaking of what this team has been all about, this team has come back in games all season long. What is it about the personality of this group that's allowed you to do that going back to late March?
I think it's just a lot of it is experience. This group's been together for a long time. There's no panic. I mean, we're down 5-1 and Kramer's got a 1-hitter going and the only hit we got's a homer. But it's just finding a way to scratch a run across, make it 5-2, just keep poking away and then boom, the big inning happens and it gives us an opportunity to win.
Finally, you had a couple of big hits in this game, the double in the 6th inning, big 2-run double as part of that 7th inning. What worked for you offensively tonight?
The tough thing is we don't face these guys a ton. So we're facing them once a year and a lot of times when you face those bullpen guys, there's no time to wait around. That was kind of the thing. That guy's got incredible stuff. He's throwing 99, 100. Let's just get on something good in the zone that you can handle.
Jake, great job tonight. Great win. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Sam.
That was Jake Cronenworth right after tonight's 7-5 win. All right, what's in store for tomorrow? Final game of this 3-game series between the Padres and Twins. First pitch tomorrow, 1:10 p.m. Our pregame starts at 12:10 tomorrow from Petco Park. Bailey Ober, right-hander on the mound for the Twins. Right-hander Walker Buehler on the mound for San Diego. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, available on the free Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts. A look at the final totals here tonight for the Padres. 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors. They left on 8. For the Twins, 5 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. They left on 8 as well. Right-hander Griffin Canning, the winning pitcher today, he's 4-9. Losing pitcher Andrew Morris drops to 4-5. And the save goes to Mason Miller, his 32nd of the season. Time of game, 2 hours and 50 minutes in the crowd at Petco Park tonight. The 52nd sellout of 2026, 41,484 in the building on a Saturday. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 1:10 p.m. Our pregame coverage begins at 12:10. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Jeff Hamby, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. Again, the final score here tonight, the San Diego Padres 7 and the Minnesota Twins 5. We'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon right here on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. For the best coverage of the San Diego Padres, stay tuned to San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.